again with the same topic, dual nature of radiation and matter, part 2. Right? In this part, we will discuss Einstein's photoelectrification and also his concept about photons. Right? So, according to Einstein, light radiations consist of tiny packets of energy called quanta. Right? One quantum of light is equivalent to one quantum of light radiation is called photon. That means the photon is the small packets, the tiny packets of energy. So light radiations consist of small, tiny packets which are called quanta. And energy of in one quanta is called photons. Energy is equal to the energy of energy called one quanta, right? And also according to what is called Planck's quantum theory, the energy of each photon is given by E is equal to h nu, right? So this radiant energy or the radiation of a particular frequency, which is just equal to f0 or nu zero or greater than nu zero, when falls on the surface of a metal, the energy of one photon is absorbed by each electron of the metal surface, right? The energy of a photon cannot be shared to different electrons. Energy of photon cannot be shared among electrons, but energy of one photon is absorbed by one electron. And if the frequency of the photon is equal to f0 or just greater than f0, then after absorbing this energy of one photon, that electron comes out of the surface of the metal. This is the theory. Understand? So remember, the energy of a single photon is absorbed by a single electron. Energy of a photon cannot be shared among electrons, right? If the frequency of these photons carrying energy is equal to h nu is just equal to f0 or greater than f0, then the electrons, that will be the amount of work function of the metal. So absorbing that amount of work function of the metal, electrons comes out of the surface of that metal. This is the theory of ejection of electrons. Am I correct? So one more thing, what you see is that when the intensity of radiations falling on a metal surface increases, the number of photons present, that is number density of photons present in the radiation increases. And that is why the number of electrons ejected also increases. It's a very important point you have to remember, right? That is why when intensity of radiation incident on a metal surface, that is light sensitive metal surface, increases. Intensity increases means the number density of photons present in the radiation is more. And hence the energy it can give to more electrons, and the more electrons are emitted out of it or ejected out of it. But remember, the kinetic energy of the electron is not because of that. That is only because of the frequency of the photons incident or radiant energy carrying photons incident on the metal surface. So kinetic energy is directly proportional to frequency. Frequency is directly proportional to kinetic energy of electrons. But intensity is directly proportional to number of photoelectrons emitted by the surface of the metal, right? So one more thing you have to always remember is that the threshold frequency is different for different metal surfaces. Threshold frequency is f0 or nu zero is different for different metal surface. So the threshold frequency depends on the nature of the metal surfaces, right? So that is always to be remembered. Next, according to Albert Einstein, the energy of a photon, h nu, that incident on a metal surface is utilized in two ways. The total energy of a photon is equal to E is equal to h nu. That I will write here. E is equal to h nu, where h is the Planck's constant and nu is the frequency of the radiant energy. frequency of the photons of the radiant energy, right? The total energy E is equal to h nu of a photon is utilized in two ways. One part of h nu is utilized for just ejection of the electrons from the metal surface. No doubt that is equal to the work function of the metal. And the other part of h nu is used for giving or providing kinetic energy to the photoelectrons emitted from the surface of the metal, right? So E is equal to h nu is utilized for two ways. One part is for ejection of the photoelectrons, that is equal to W0. The W0 means that is the work function of the metal. And the other part is to provide for maximum kinetic energy for the electrons. So according to Albert Einstein, we can say that suppose this is the condition. We can make a metal surface. This is a metal surface and a radiation consisting of photons of energy is equal to h nu is incident on the metal surface like this, and this electrons are coming out. This is an electron of mass m, and kinetic energy is equal to half m v max half m v square max, and this is v max. It is moved to v max, where this spot you see, that is an electron of mass m carrying an energy is equal to half m v square max, and v max is the velocity of that. This is the maximum kinetic energy. So we can say that h nu means total energy of the photon is utilized in two ways. One part is utilized for ejection of the electrons. Ejection of the electron is that is same as equal to the work function of the metal. Right? Okay. Work function is also different for different metals. Plus, I can write half m v max square. Right? This is the condition. Right? Okay. If the frequency is nu zero, if the frequency is equal to f0, what is called threshold frequency. Threshold frequency. Then the ejected electrons have a velocity is equal to zero. Electrons are just ejected, that don't have any kinetic energy at all. Kinetic energy is not there, means its velocity is equal to zero. In that condition, we can write h nu zero. That time the frequency is equal to nu zero. That means frequency is equal, I must write nu zero. Nu zero means the minimum value of frequency, so that when that radiant energy falls on the surface of a metal, electrons are just emitted or just ejected out of the surface, but it doesn't have any kinetic energy at all. That frequency required by the radiant energy incident on a metal surface is called threshold frequency. When the frequency of the radiant energy incident on the metal surface is threshold frequency, then V max, that means the velocity attained by the electron is equal to zero. Electrons are just ejected but has no energy. In that case, we can write h nu zero is equal to W0 plus half m into what's that, zero square we can write. This is equal to simply W0, or W0 is equal to h nu zero. So this is also very important relation. W0 means work function of the metal is equal to h nu zero. For nu zero, we can write C by lambda zero also we can write. This is equal to h into what? C by lambda zero also we can write. C by lambda zero, where C is the velocity of light, radiant energy. Any radiation has the velocity is equal to C. C is equal to 3 into 10 raised to 8 meter per second in the space or air or vacuum, right? And lambda zero is the threshold wavelength. This is the condition. So applying this value in this expression, we will get what you get. Then we will get the expression as equal to, right? You will get expression as equal to h nu is equal h nu is equal to h nu zero plus m v max square. So this is also this is an equation of Einstein's equation of photoelectric effect. This is also equation of photoelectric effect, right? This is equation number 1 we can write. This is equation number 2 we can write, right? So in terms of half mv max square can be written as equal to k max also. Therefore, this can also written as equal to h nu 0 plus k max. K max means kinetic energy max. Also we can write. Okay, or k max is equal to what we can do? K max is equal to h nu 0 also we. This can be written as equal to h into nu minus nu 0 also we can write. Or this is equal to h into c by lambda minus c by lambda 0 also we can write. By that, nu is equal to c by lambda, right? That's why c can be taken outside. Therefore, this is equal to ch into 1 by lambda minus 1 by lambda 0 also we can write, right? And in the previous class, we have seen that K max is equal to UV0. So in that sense, we can write EV0 is equal to CH into 1 by lambda minus 1 by lambda 0. All these equations. This is an equation. This is an equation. This is one equation. This is another form of the equation. This we also we can write. All these ways we can write Einstein's equation of photoelectric effect. So these are the various forms of Einstein's equation of photoelectric. It is only equation, only one equation only, but it can be written in various forms. It's very, very important. In this case, c is the velocity of light and h is the Planck's constant, right? Lambda 0 is the threshold wavelength. So these are the EV0, right? EV0 means this is the what is called a work done by the reverse potential or the stopping potential, right? Where V0 is the stopping potential. Stopping potential is also called as what? Uh, stopping potential is also called as what? Yeah. That means it is that potential at which the photoelectric current becomes equal to 0, right? This is called a stopping potential, right? Important. EV0 is equal to CH into 1 by lambda minus 1 by lambda 0. So these are the equations of the various forms of Einstein's equation of photoelectric effect, right? So one more thing, what I tell is that it's a very important point I am going to tell you. So it can be proved that the energy of a photon, energy of each photon is given by the equation. This you have to remember. Energy of each photon can also be proved to be equal to is equal to 12,400. This can be proved. This proof I am not doing. 12,400 divided by lambda. Electron volt. Actually, this EV, electron volt, right? Electron volt, where lambda is in angstrom. Lambda in angstrom unit. Angstrom. Lambda is an angstrom unit. Remember that lambda must be applied in the angstrom unit. So this is a very important point you have to remember in this lesson. So many times we have to apply this value as the energy of a photon. Energy of each photon can be proved equal to E is equal to 12,400 divided by lambda electron volt. There's a proof also, but proof is not necessary, right? Proof is not asked anytime, but you have to remember this. Energy of each photon is given by E is equal to 12,400 divided by lambda, where lambda is an angstrom unit. Then there are important graphs in photoelectric effect. So I'm going to remove all these things. Important graphs. So all these things we have seen yesterday also, right? Retarding potential and also accelerating potential, cutoff voltage, right? Cutoff voltage is also called as what? Stopping potential, etc. All these things, right? Important graphs. That we using equations of Einstein's equations of photoelectric effect, we can calculate some important physical quantities like uh, important for physical quantity like Planck's constant. So Planck's constant is a very important physical quantity. The value of that everybody knows, right? 6.66 into 10 raised to minus 34, I suppose, right? Joule second. That is Planck's constant. The value of Planck's constant can be calculated using Einstein's photoelectric equation. Einstein's photoelectric equation, everybody knows that EV0 is equal to kinetic energy max. EV H nu we can write H nu is equal to W0 plus K max, or K max we can write, right? But K max is equal to what? This is equal to W0 plus EV0. K max is equal to EV0, right? Or EV0 is equal to H nu minus W0 also we can write. Very simple equations. The same what you call Einstein's equation, H nu is equal to W0 plus K max. In place of K max, we can write half mv max square also, right? Half mv max square is called as kinetic energy, maximum kinetic energy, that is equal to EV0. Yesterday we have said that the work done by the cutoff potential or stopping potential EV0 is equal to maximum kinetic energy of electrons. So when the reverse potential is V0, even electrons of maximum kinetic energy also stopped to reach the anode plate in the experimental arrangement. We have seen that. That is why K max is always given as equal. In the notes also, it is that will be mentioned. You can, when you make the notes, you will write that also. K max is equal to EV0, where V0 is the cutoff potential or stopping potential, or EV0 is equal to H minus W0, or V0 is equal to what? V0 is equal to H by E nu minus W0 divided by E also we can write. So this is V0. V0 is H by E into nu minus W0 divided by E. W0 is the work function of the metal. That is a constant for a particular metal, and E is also a constant. Okay, H is a constant, E is also a constant. So this equation can be written resembling to, that means this equation is resembling the equation of a straight line. Y is equal to mx plus c. Y is equal to mx plus c is in analytical geometry. In mathematics, it is not that. The equation of a simple straight line is y is equal to mx plus c. So this straight line is like this only, it is drawn. This is y is equal to mx plus c. So right, this is c, this is c, this is mx plus c. This straight line is mx and this intercept is c, mx plus c. Am I correct? So if the constant is positive, then the intercept is along the positive x-axis. Positive y-axis. Okay. So c is in the positive y-axis because the equation is y is equal to mx plus c, where the straight line m is the slope of the straight line. Slope of the straight line is the tan theta. That means the angle made by the straight line with the x-axis, right? If it is extended to the extent that is coming and meeting at this point, making an angle theta with the x-axis, tan of the angle of that. Or that can be made like this also. If you make two parallel lines, one is parallel to the x-axis and the other is parallel to the y-axis, then make an angle theta. This theta will be same as equal to this theta. Tan of the angle is taken. Tan theta is equal to what? dy by dx. So this is y and this is x. This is dy and this is dx. That means the differential coefficient of a curve or a straight line is the slope of the straight line. Slope is equal to dy by dx is equal to tan theta. Perpendicular base is equal to tan theta. So this expression y is equal to mx plus c is the equation of a straight line. Our equation is v0 is equal to h by e into nu minus W0 divided by E. This equation is exactly resembling this one, right? In this case, M, and here that M is matching with H by E. And C is equal to minus W by E. But in this case, it is in a normal equation, Y is equal to mx plus C. C is in the positive Y axis, intercept in the positive Y axis. But in this case, the thing is negative. That is the only thing. If you draw a graph for this equation, what is called V0 is equal to H by E into nu minus W by E, then that graph will be like this, right? That graph is shown by this figure, right? This is V0. You will mark here. This is frequency. Frequency we will mark. Am I correct? This intercept. This is equal to minus W0 divided by E, and this point is F0. F0 means that is the minimum value of frequency required by the radiant energy so that photoelectrons are emitted. So we know that that means the frequency is directly proportional to stopping potential. So we have seen that. That means the frequency of radiation incident increases, the stopping potential also we have to increase. The negative potential applied to the anode plate we have to increase to stop the electrons coming to the anode plate. So the frequency is directly proportional to V0. V0 is stopping potential. It is a straight line. Understand? The slope of the straight line is equal to Y is equal to mx plus C. Mx plus minus W by E, right? This negative intercept on the y-axis gives W0 by E, and the slope of the straight line gives the value H by E, and the point where the the line meets the frequency line, that is equal to F0. From this graph, we can find three things. One thing that you find is slope of the graph. Slope of the graph is equal to H by E. Right? H we don't know, but the value of E is known to us. What is the value of E known to us? E is equal to 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19 coulombs, right? So that applying the value, knowing the slope, apply the value of E, and we can find the value of H can be calculated. And also that particular metal surface, the work function also can be calculated, knowing the value of E, right? This intercept is calculated. That intercept is multiplied with the value of E that everybody knows. The work function of the metal can also be calculated. And taking the positive intercept along the y-axis, we can calculate the threshold frequency for that particular metal also. So from this graph, we can find three things. One is Planck's constant, and the other is threshold frequency for that particular metal, and also the work function of the metal. All these three can be obtained. This is one graph. It is a very important graph using the equation H is equal to W0 plus K max, right? Or this is equal to W0 plus EV0 because K max is equal to EV0 and V0 is calculated. And this relation is just resembling the equation of a straight line. So if a graph is made using, a graph is drawn using V0 along the y-axis and the frequency along the x-axis, that will be a straight line because this is exactly resembling the equation of a straight line, that is y is equal to mx plus c. So using this we can, so very important thing is that we can use this graph to find Planck's constant. So this is the very important thing, right? This can be, this can also be calculated, right? The other one is that we can suppose if many metals are used for doing this experiment, that means we performed experiment using many metals. Then for all these metals, if graph is drawn, then you will see that the graph will be straight lines parallel to each other. Suppose this is F0A, another one that is F0B, another one that is equal to F0C, etc. This is for A, this is for B, this is for C, right? Why they are parallel? But at different points they are meeting at. Why? because for different metals, the threshold frequency is different. But they are parallel to each other because uh, the the slope of the graph is always equal. Slope is equal to h by e, right? This also h by this tan theta, this also theta, this also theta. Tan theta for all these graph lines are same. Why? Because the slope is only one value. What's that value? That is equal to h by e. That is why if we perform this experiment, this photoelectric experiment using different methods A, B, and C, the graph between stopping potential and frequency for different metal spectron, that will be parallel to each other. Parallel lines will have the same slope with the x-axis. What is the slope in this case? In this case, the slope is equal to h by e, right? Right? Okay. And also using the same graph for this graph for different metals, we can calculate the uh, work function for different metals also, right? So these are the things about it. Again, I am coming with another graph. That graph is this one. K max is equal to h nu minus w0. So this expression only K max is equal to h nu minus w0. This also can be used for making a graph, right? For that graph, what you will write? You will take the kinetic energy K max, kinetic energy along the y-axis, and frequency along the x-axis, right? Okay, this is 0. Then also we will get a straight line only, right? This is also just like resembling a straight y is equal mx plus c. In this case, directly we are getting the Planck's constant. Last time we got the slope was h by e, but in this case, directly we are getting. So for that, how the graph can be made? The graph is made with a kinetic energy along the y-axis and frequency along the x-axis. If a graph is made, that graph is also straight line as shown in the figure, right? This is equal to f0 only, no doubt, and this is equal to minus w0. The slope of this graph is equal to what? Slope is equal to h. Directly the slope is equal to h. To find the slope, what you will do? You will take what is the angle made with this graph with the x-axis. Tan of that angle is equal to h. So this is a very important thing. That means using photoelectric equation, we can calculate Planck's constant, right? Now another expression, another graph is what is the graph between photocurrent and frequency? Graph between photocurrent and frequency. Photocurrent and frequency, if a graph is made, that graph will be like this, right? Photocurrent graph between I photo and frequency. This is frequency and this is I photo. I photo means photocurrent. If a graph is made, then graph will be like this, because current actually start only when the frequency is a minimum value called threshold frequency, right? Then this is the graph, because frequency has nothing to do with the photoelectric current. Photoelectric current depends only on intensity. So when you increase the frequency, any value, but photoelectric current will be same, because photoelectric current is depending only on intensity, right? So the graph will be a straight line parallel to the frequency axis. Next is stopping potential and intensity. Next graph, this is I photo. I photo and frequency, the graph is like this. Okay. Next what? Next is next what I say is this is V0. V0, what is V0? Stopping potential or cutoff potential. And intensity. This is intensity only. Intensity of radiant energy. If a graph is made with V0 and intensity. That means intensity has nothing to do with the stopping potential. Stopping potential totally and completely depending on frequency. Therefore, the current has nothing to do. This is a parallel line parallel to the stopping potential. That means any radiant energy having an intensity I has a frequency, right? Then for that particular frequency, the stopping potential will be always a constant. Therefore, if a graph is made with the stopping potential and intensity, that graph will be a straight line parallel to the intensity axis. So these are the graphs about, right? This lesson, this lesson more than half is finished. Tomorrow I will come with another topic, what is called de Broglie waves, right? Matter waves it is called. That will be the tomorrow's only one more class will be there, and after completing that, this unit will be finished. That means 7 units we are going to finish tomorrow, right? So tomorrow I will come with the new topic. Till then, bye bye. Thank you very much.